You're listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available on podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Up right now, and of course we're wrapping it with a little giant, a micro giant. It's a big things come in small package. Speaking of which, Dolapo is here. How are you, brother?
I'm very well. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I mean, just before this interview, we were having a conversation, and you said some things that really strike me. And I'm thinking, okay, we really have the generation of millennials that can really champion out of the bubble thinking in tech. There's a lot of buzz, like you said, and there is really very little actual solutions that is practically helping the people to scale or to advance in thinking and what we do. That kind of thought can only come from somebody who has engaged the tech industry for quite a while. You look quite young to me. I'm not saying too young, but I mean, you look young to me. And so for you to have come with that thinking, how long have you been in the tech space?
Okay, so I would say roughly about 4 or 5 years. So I'm currently the leader business development executive for Lofty Inc., Allied Partners, which also run Winnovation Hub. So over the past few years, I've had to interact with startups, the tech space, trying to develop their businesses, moving it from just idea to building an MVP, getting into the market, getting your first funding, and scaling up and getting Series A. We'll be raising rounds of investment and then doing all of that. So by that, I've had reasons to interact with startups at that level, even when they just come in with just ideas. So I understand what I'm talking about.
All right, great. So about how much money do you think has passed through your department as a business development lead, to the startups that have been able to make it through the process of your scrutinization?
Oh brother, you want to put me on the spot. But I won't be able to give a figure, but I mean, I must tell you, quite a number of investment has gone into a lot of startups.
We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes, definitely. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the reason why I'm putting it at that is because usually for us, we get to them at a very early stage. So at that point, they need just about say $10,000 to about $50,000, to do what they have to do. But of course, we also handhold them to accessing money from bigger investors when they need to scale. So
I've been looking for a guy to take us through the process of becoming what you call founder CEO of blah 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 application. And I think you're the guy that I can have that conversation with. Okay. So we're going to have this conversation even after this conversation.
Okay, no problem. Right, I'll be interested.
So I'll keep that up. Right. But in the meantime, your experience here so far, what's the highlight or the high point of
remember just before this interview we were talking, and I said for me the striking part of all of this is to understand that the government is interested in developing the tech ecosystem in Nigeria. Of course, starting with Lagos, we understand the position of Lagos if you want to change anything, if you want to do anything fantastic, Lagos is usually the first place. And so I personally was taken away when I saw the governor and the deputy governor, and then also the commissioner for science and tech, sitting all through and then listening to all of this, particularly Kola in a session where he was really speaking to the government about exactly what they need to be doing. I mean, that for me is the main thing for me. And so, like I was saying, it's interesting to know that the government is interested in the space, interested in opening up in the space, is interested in developing the space. One of the things they said was they've set up some money, about 400 million naira to, accessible to. Lagos State, yes. So I mean,
seed funding.
Yeah. So that is very interesting to me, and that means that people can go ahead and then ensure that their ideas become reality. And another thing is the emphasis on us really building solutions that are solving real problems. So we can build products, but if they're not solving solving real life issues in Lagos, issues like traffic. I mean, we spend most of our productive hours, either on Third Milan Bridge or somewhere stuck in Ikeja. And also, if we can have solutions that will solve traffic, can have solutions that will solve the health challenges, deal with the healthcare system, if we can have solutions that will deal with emergency, recently we had a fire and we couldn't do nothing about it. So we need to begin to encourage young people to begin to create solutions that will solve real life problems. That's the only time we know that tech is really doing something.
All right, to pick you on the last question, which will be solution driven based on this narrative now. If, say, we were to solve fire problem, traffic problem, or any of the two problems, or flood problem, any of those three problems with tech, I mean, what kind of tech is going to do that? I mean, because I'm thinking probably you need to have alternative roads, you need to have more bridges, maybe you need to, Lagos is about 9 feet above the water level, which means it's one of the...
It's even below water, below sea level.
Sinking city in the world, you know that. And then, of course, again, we know that when it comes to fire incidents, people are more scared than responsive to it, So how possibly can tech even solve one of these, or is there any way tech is solving it?
Let me just give you a very quick instance. So number one, we know, I'll talk about traffic. Number one, we know that yes, the infrastructure we need to erect more infrastructure, of course, build more roads, more accessible roads, train system and all of that. Yeah, but one of the things tech is going to do is to enable those things. So for instance, why not let's explore the water? Now, a big issue with water transportation in Lagos State is, number one, people are scared. People don't want to lose their life. They feel the risks are higher and all of that. So why can't we, use tech to drive that space? Invest in the water system. Let there be more boats, but let these boats be run on technology. Let me be able to, comfortably from my house, book my boat and my ferry in the morning from my house. Get on my boat. Let us have emergency response on time. Let's have points on the water where we can have emergency response. So for instance, a very big issue with boats. Why people don't want to get on the ferries? The fact that if you find out most of the wreck that we have is because of overloading. Can we have something that will help us ensure that we have the right number of passengers, in a boat? For instance, a boat can take just 20. Can we have a system where when it's 20, it has to go? Things like that can, enable over better transportation. Yeah. And I think, because the truth is Lagos must move from road to water. Lagos is largely water. So if we really want to solve transportation, we need to explore the water. A city like Venice, for instance, is on water. And they move by boats, So why can't we bring that to Lagos? But of course, we have to put in those components that will make it safer and make it, much more easier to be accessible by everybody, and then we're good.
All right, thank you very much, Dolapo. We're going to continue the conversation, like I said earlier, with the making of that developer, that founder, that CEO. We're going to get to that.
All right, thank you fantastic. Very much for my pleasure.
It's really nice.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so that was Dolapo. Of course, you heard everything he said. More initiative, more innovative ideas coming our ways right here on Africa Business Radio. Stay with us. We'll bring you a lot more. My name is God's Baby, and of course, many thanks to my producer, Chris Samuel. Many thanks to Michael Musamiki Jaga, and of course to Sajia Kilabi, Dolapo Lawal, business lead at Africa Business Radio. Many thanks to everyone who's made this possible today. And of course, it's a very, very big thanks to the organizers of Art of Technology 1.0 collaborating in Lagos. Until next time, it's a goodbye and God bless.
Listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available on podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.